You've seen winter and fall ants, and now it is time for the spring ants. For those of you that aren't super familiar with these ant illustrations, or at least these seasonal ones, this came about in prompt number 33, where I got the prompts harvest and pond. After I drew that ant illustration, I thought it really looked like a scene that would change over time, and I got the really cute idea, or at least I thought it was a cute idea, to draw this scene 4 different times, and each time it would be themed to the seasons. So you would see the pond change with the seasons over time, like in the winter one it froze over. You would see how the ants use the fireplace differently. And just overall, I thought it would be cute to have a seasonal sort of ant illustration where they do different things for different seasons, depending on the weather, and I guess traditions and activities you would see in that certain season. Of course, I am doing other ant illustrations that are themed to seasons or just activities in general, but I thought it was really cute to do the same scene 4 different times and to just see how different I could make each one. And to those of you that aren't new to the ant illustrations or this seasonal series, you're welcome for hearing that for probably the 3rd time. So anyways, when it came to penciling this illustration, I have to say, the number one thing I dread about these ant illustrations is penciling them, because coming up with ideas of what these ants are doing other than just standing there can be really kind of difficult. And with my recent revisit to my 1000 ant illustration drawing, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, I have noticed that the way I draw ants and the way that I put them into these drawings has drastically changed since I started. When I first started these ant illustration drawings, I drew the ants very ding small, and they were very skinny. These days I draw them not only a lot larger, but I also make their limbs a lot thicker because I think it's kind of cuter. I will probably talk about that a lot more in my 1000 ant drawing video in the future, but for now, let's just say my focus on this illustration was kind of trying to go back to the original style of drawing them, because I have started to draw my ants way too large. I looked at some of the past ant illustrations that were kind of new but kind of old, and I drew them in a way that I don't like it, and I don't know how I just lost sight of that. But because the spring ant illustration is part of a series, I thought it was really important that I get back to making it look like the other ones so that it doesn't look too different. I also did a lot of revisiting on this illustration. I thought it was really fun to include ants with pinsors again, because I haven't included them in any of my drawings since the autumn ant illustration. The ants with pinsors originally came about because they were harvesting and cutting down the wheat or whatever in that illustration, and I thought they are so cute, and I don't know why I don't include them. Come on, Kasey, just because they aren't working doesn't mean they can't hang out in your ant illustrations, dang. I also thought it would be really fun to include more bees than ants in this illustration because it is spring, they have a lot of pollinating to do, there's lots of flowers, so you would think there would be more bees, right? Well, every time I went to draw a bee, I just went into auto mode and started drawing ants. And the more I thought about it, it made more sense to do more ants because this is an ant illustration, and although it would be cute to do more bees than ants because it's spring, I can't let them outweigh the ants. They're my babies. But I did have a lot of fun putting a lot more bees in these illustrations because they are pretty dang cute and round, and once you put the stripes on, they are just so much cuter. And now that I'm looking at the finished illustration, I can see a bee sitting on a log that doesn't have stripes. Let's just give this guy some stripes, huh? Alright, little buddy, you need some stripes. Okay, he now has stripes. Though the pictures I took that will be going on social media won't have stripes. I hope nobody notices. Oh, that does remind me that I did draw my first elderly bee character, but again, I forgot to give this guy wings, so I guess he's an old retired bee that lost his wings because he's old. That's a thing that happens, right? I'm sure in this little world of insects I have, bees could survive without their wings. I mean, look at them, they're all walking anyways. He's got a nice little retirement home he lives at. He doesn't need to fly or do anything. Oh my god, now I want to make an old retirement bug house. Oh my god, with a bunch of old bees and old ants. It would be so cute. What the heck? Oh my god, why? Why? Well, I guess that means you can look forward to an ant illustration that is a retirement home for all the old bugs. It's probably going to be very sad, but now I'm looking forward to it. as the spring illustration, I definitely had to focus on plants. Things being born, or I guess things growing, things starting anew. And I always think about gardening when I think of spring, like flowers and all of that. So my main focus on this illustration was definitely plants and I guess bugs and rain. So I've got some ants and a bee with umbrellas. We've got a lot of ants with gardening tools. They're carrying seed bags. There's an ant with a bug net chasing other bugs down. I guess it's kind of their messed up version of tag or something. I think it's kind of cute. But my favorite part about this illustration, aside from how dang bright it is compared to the other ant illustrations, which I absolutely love. This one is so bright. I just love it. It definitely captures the feeling of spring for me. But anyways, aside from the brightness, I absolutely love the little gardening section in the corner. It is just so cute. Those little tiny box gardens where those little bugs and those little ants and bees have all gardened their way to a little garden. And I even brought back the worm, which hasn't made an appearance since the first ant illustration. Something I hated about my original worm is that I hated the color, so my focus on this worm was definitely making a more worm-like color that wasn't this disgustingly bright orangey brown color. It definitely looks more like a worm. I think it's so cute how it's coming out of the garden as a real worm would do. And just overall, all these bugs are just having such a good time. I just love how bright and great this illustration is. You guys, this ant illustration is definitely in my top 3 favorite ant illustrations. I love this one. I think lately I've been having a bit of a rut with my ant illustrations. Like I said, I think I just started to get away from the original, the original ant illustration vibe that I like from them. It just wasn't going in the direction that I like, but I think I'm definitely getting back into my ant illustrations, and I definitely want to get as many as I can to eventually make an ant art book. But until then, we have one more season to go, summer, and I have so many other ant illustration ideas that I cannot wait to get to. Alright, are you guys ready for your list of ants and other bugs and things to find? Here we go. 4 bugs holding umbrellas, 3 ants with seed packets, 3 ants with pinsors, 3 ants holding potted plants, 2 bugs holding lemonade, 2 old ants, 1 old bee, 1 ant holding a flower, and of course, 1 robber ant. Alright guys, I hope you have fun looking for those bugs, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!